Today we're diving into a sensitive but maybe not so sensitive topic. Should you check your partner's phone or not? You know that moment when your spirit starts to tell you something isn't right and your hand starts to itch you to pick that phone and check. We've all been there, or at least known someone who has been there. It's not even an uncommon topic of conversation, it's not. So let's talk about it honestly. No pretense, no faking of maturity, just real honest talk. Frankly, most people don't check their partner's phone because they are insecure. It's often because they feel something is not right, something is off. And especially women, our gods, our should I call it spirits? I don't know. Just seldom lies to us. I mean, it's not 100% perfect or right all the time, but seldom lies to us. So when it becomes really strong, sometimes it becomes like a message that you cannot ignore. Now, if I'm asked that question, should people check their partner's phone, whether the man checking the wife's phone or the wife checking the husband's phone, the default response I would give would be yes. Partners should be able to have access to each other's phone, whether they are interested in checking it or not, because your phone is not any more private than the private parts you share. Except maybe you are in a line of work that wouldn't allow that to happen because you have access to people's top secrets. Maybe because you are a coach, a counselor, or something like that. There shouldn't really be a big deal with your partner accessing your phone, ideally. I'm saying ideally because I know this is not the situation with a lot of couples, okay? So ideally, this would be my response. But your phone is private. But your partner is also your private person, your personal person. So again, I don't see any big deal with it. Husband accessing wife's phone or vice versa. And the main reason why I am of this opinion is because I believe that it helps to checkmate one another's excesses. And excesses is not only maybe the partner chatting indecently with the opposite sex online, it could be worse. Evil, indecency, whatever it is, thrives in secrecy. The moment you know, oh, this thing is being done in secret, no one knows about it, you tend to continue to do it without boundaries, without regards, without remorse. When you just know the knowledge that your partner has access to your phone, they can basically just pick your phone randomly any day and check it. It will make you more conscious of the kind of things you indulge in, the kind of conversations you'd have. If you're a man or woman, for example, who doesn't see anything wrong with chatting indecently with the opposite gender online, definitely this is not something you want your partner to see. So if you know they can have access to such a thing or such indulgence, such inappropriate indulgence, you would tend to put a boundary and to avoid avoid involving or indulging in something like that. Now, this can only work in the way I have said it if the couples are people who see each other as partners, as a team, as now we. You understand? I don't know the words to use for it right now. So in such a situation, the husband cares about the wife's feelings, the wife also cares about the husband's feelings. So should they even find out anything inappropriate, maybe flirting with the opposite gender, betting, just basically something not appropriate that gives a clue with access to the phone. So they will tend to have a reasonable conversation and instead of defending, blame shifting, or deflecting, they tend to listen to the issue raised. They are able to have conversation around it and they will be able to address it appropriately. But we know this is not always the case with homes. In fact, there are probably fewer homes where this kind of regard for each other's feelings when online indecencies are in question. A lot of homes, I don't want to say majority because I hadn't carried out any research, but a lot of homes are actually such that if it's the wife who finds out something and say, "Oh, this is an inappropriate," the men say, "Oh, what are you looking for in my phone?" The issue raised is what you have done is inappropriate, but these people switch it to, "Why did you check my phone in the first place?" They sometimes even say, "Oh, do you see me checking your own?" Because they have to blame shift, they have to deflect, they have to change from the real topic of that conversation into something else that undermines their own and then find a way to put the blame on you now. for checking their phone. So it's no longer what you found on their phone, it's now why did you check? If you know that you are in that kind of marriage where your partner, your man or your woman, doesn't care about how you feel, and all he cares about is his actions and what makes him feel cool. Number one, you have to understand that this kind of people accessing their phone is not easy. These people, especially the ones who have things that are shady, you cannot access their phones. They don't joke with their phones. So, if you now ask me, should I still find a way to access this person's phone? Yes, if you know that when you check and find out, you'll be able to have conversation on the matter, and you know that after that conversation, they will own up to what they have done wrong. You understand? And in which case, they would act better. Or even if they don't own up to what they have done, you know that you are not just going to cry, nag, shout, quarrel, and move on. Because if you should find out from these people, this kind of people, for example, let's say it's the woman who finds out something on the man's phone and you raise it and he says, and so what? Why did you check my phone? Now the question is, what will you do next? If what you will do is nothing but cry, wail, nag, talk, 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 oh, why are you doing this? You're hurting me, then really you go on to become hurt, depressed, sad, but life continues. The man continues what he's doing, you also continue being a wife. Nothing happened, nothing changed, except that you now become emotionally drained and made insecure because it's actually some of these acts that turn a man or a woman to become insecure when your man or your woman is not trustworthy. My answer to such a person would be don't bother checking. Because what's the point of checking? The only thing that has happened from your checking was actually a punishment on you, the victim, again. The person is going to continue his or her shenanigans. There is nothing you did now that you found out. Nothing. If anything, you hurt yourself. So there is no point you checking. So ask yourself before you check if I should check and see something not appropriate. I raise the conversation. He doesn't bloody care about how I feel. What will I do? If there is nothing you're going to do beyond, I quarreled him, I nagged, I told him I don't like it, I did this. You think he cares? So if you have done all of that and he doesn't care, what will you do? If deep down you know that there is nothing he will do, you know, except you want to deceive yourself, you know nothing will happen. You will not do anything. Please don't bother checking. Bliss of ignorance, enjoy it. Now, if you are a woman who knows that, should you find out and raise the concern and he refuses to make amendments, you have consequences that he could face, or you have something that you can do to either forcefully enforce a change or to tell him this is not tolerable. This is a boundary, you don't cross it. If you cross it, these are the consequences. And you're not just saying it, you will actually go ahead to carry out these consequences. Then I'll say, you can check. Because there is actually something in it for you there, which is, oh, this is not something you can tolerate and you actually have the capacity to prove that you cannot tolerate it. So then you can check. Now this is a yes and no response, depending on the kind of person you know yourself to be. Don't deceive yourself. So if you are that woman who already know that there is nothing you're going to do about it, nothing. At worst, you now convince yourself it rains everywhere, all men do it, just to make yourself feel good. That every other person's man is as loose or as indecent as your man. So you convince yourself like that, it's fine. The only thing you would do is now pray to God that, dear God, please don't let him graduate from online to physical so that he doesn't bring diseases for you. So that's the best you can do. Another thing you can do in that situation, if you have decided to stay and enjoy it, especially since these kind of people always come with, after all, it's just online. I'm not doing anything physically. So if you realize that, okay, it's just online, no problem, I want to endure. Another thing I will advise you to do is work on detachment. Just because you already find out already, so there is no way you can see this person in the same light again, especially if you know that they're not making efforts to change. So there is just no way you're going to see them the way you had been seeing them. So something is going to change in you, something is going to switch in you, and it's not switching for the better. So, what you can do so that you don't keep hurting yourself, especially with the fact that, oh, this person doesn't care about you, is work on detachment. Work on detaching yourself emotionally from this person. Yeah, this is what will help you cope. Such that even if he continues that act, if you see it, you will still flinch, but you're not hurt. You're not deeply hurt to the point of not functioning or crying or getting depressed. You are able to wave it, So detach, work on detachment because there is absolutely no reason why anybody should be emotionally attached to a person who is disloyal, who is unfaithful. You would be hurting, you will hurt yourself too much, and in fact, you will just keep hurting yourself. So, whether to check the phone or not now depends on what do you want to do with the information. If you find out something, what would you do? Can you do anything? If yes, go ahead. If there is nothing you can do, please don't stress yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Let it go. Just pray that it doesn't bring you diseases. Yeah, and I wish you all the best with that. What are your opinions? What is your opinion on this matter? I would like to hear it in the comment section.